I started Scrum Mastery, I think about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, just literally during COVID. Prior to that, I um I was working with a local government authority for about 15 years as an application support officer. Within my role, I tried to get into project management. I did Print 2, I did Agile PM, and all the interviews I went for internally, I didn't get a role. And I think the thing that annoyed me most was my manager then. Um, Two roles came up, project support officer roles. Each interview I went for, I did about 10 interviews internally. Each interview I went for, my manager would say, you don't have experience, you don't have experience, you don't have experience. And then what broke the camel's back was he gave his daughter, who had just left uni, a role as a project officer in a team. And then to make matters worse, he brought her boyfriend in as well. So at this time, I thought to myself, it's time for change. And luckily, COVID came. And then somebody introduced me to Career Insight, which is where I think I've known some of you. And then that's where I can say things changed. Um, so that's just I'm just saying that so that for those of you not in that role yet, don't give up. Um, Always pursue perfection or pursue something better. Don't stay in a role where you realize that you don't feel like you're wanted. So that's something I want to share. Okay, so come career insight. I never knew the role or the role Scrum Master. I heard about project manager, but I didn't know of a role called Scrum Master. But when I joined Career Insight, I realized that I had some transferable skills that could catapult me in that role, um, and that's key. So I thought, okay, fine, that's what I'm going to pursue. And it wasn't money. So some people, if it's money, then you're focusing down the wrong hole. It has to be a passion that is key. And I found out that being a Scrum Master, there were some transferable skills I learned in my previous role at I don't mention the name of the council, but in that London Council, um, that helped me. And then I had a wonderful set of people as well on my team in Career Insight as well, who helped me as well. Yeah, so that's how my journey started. Um, and one key thing is always put yourself forward for any role. If you know of a training platform like this one, ROCKITECH, get yourself involved, learn, don't be scared, ask questions. It's best to do things here and get it wrong so that when you go out into the real world, you'll fit in place. Because here you're amongst family and friends. So just that's one thing I want to share with you as well. So motivation for the career change. I mentioned frustration in my role then, and then the aspiration that I had once I joined Career Insight, um, and then embracing what I was learning, starting off from basic things like reading the Scrum Guide, getting interested in reading books, um, and that is key. Watching YouTube, following people on YouTube, asking questions, getting my hands dirty, um, and there were things like I don't know if you're new, so I'm going to be jumping between those who are already in the role and those who are just joining, so that you get the best of both worlds. If you're new, make sure you enroll in things like Atlassian and then create your own account. Play around with Jira. I'll come to that. Play around with Confluence. Um, Try and create your dashboards. Write your user stories. That is key as well. So it's not just about reading the Scrum Guide. Also, do exams if you can. I'll mention that wrong as well later on with regards to certifications that you can do. So those two are key. But certification without getting your hands dirty it has no value. So if you're going to do certification, make sure you join a platform like this, get your hands dirty, understand what it is that you need to do within that Scrum Master role. It is key. Okay, so that is the highlight of things as they were. So after Career Insight, I joined BP, my first role as Scrum Master. I had three interviews prior that time. So one was with Vodafone, one was with BP. And those were my first two interviews, and I got both roles. So and then it now came to making a decision. What job would I take? Mistake one, I followed the money. Okay. So when I say I followed the money, what BP were offering to pay me um as my salary was four times what I was getting in my previous role. Vodafone were offering me two and a half of what I was getting. But there were more options with Vodafone than there were with BP, but I took the BP role. That was my first mistake. So in my BP role, I learned that I wasn't a fit. When I say I wasn't a fit, first 2 months was okay. The third month, things changed because I was challenging the what's the word to use now? Status quo. Um, with regards to the way that ceremonies were being run, with regards to what is the role, the difference between being a Scrum Master and a product owner, and who does what. So that there was I started to have conflict. Um, and the fifth month in that role, I was let go. Lessons learned. Now, when I was let go, I thought it's the end of the world. What am I going to do now? And I applied for another role with Capgemini where I am now. So I got this role with Capgemini, I think 2 weeks after I was fired from BP. And within that week, this is a good thing. I got paid a lot of money from BP. And then same month I got paid from Capgemini. So within that month, I had a lot of money in my account. Anyway, what am I trying to drive at? Make sure that you know your beans. Understand the lay of the land. When you join a new company or a new team, don't just go in there trying to make changes. Don't go in there with your textbook. Oh, I read this, or this is how it happened, or this is how this is how we used to do it where I was before. Remember, this was my first role. So what I should have done was I should have sat back and take notes on how they were doing things, and then reach out to people in the industry who could then help me with those issues that I was seeing. So for any role or any team I go into now, the first thing I do is understand the lay of the land. Who does what? How do you do what you're doing? What's your matrix? What is it saying? And then come in with gradual changes. So it's like you're riding a bike for the first time, so you're not going to go on speed six straight away, full force. So that's one of the first things that I learned early in my on my path to where I am now. And I took that into Capgemini. Um, and there's a key thing for Scrum Master role is active listening. If you don't have active listening, if you're not patient, if you this role is not for you. So you have to be able to listen. You don't have to be technical. Um, so that is key. So don't be afraid if you're thinking, oh, I'm not technical. Why should I go for a Scrum Master role? You don't have to be technical. If you're not technical, there are roles that are not a technical Scrum Master role. So know your strength. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so I've joined Capgemini now. And then the first role that I get in Capgemini is a delivery manager role. And I'm scratching my head like, why are you giving me a delivery manager role? But they said, can you do it? And I'm thinking like, yeah. Yeah, I can. But I was scared. Key fact to know is if you're looking for a Scrum Master role and you see the word delivery manager, please apply for it because it's the same thing as a Scrum Master role. Some companies don't call it a Scrum Master role, they call it delivery manager role. So if you're looking for roles and you see them out there, DWP, HMR, any of those governmental offices, if it says delivery manager, you can apply for that role. If sometimes they say Scrum Master and maybe a product owner or something, still apply for it. Because at the end of the day, it's all about transferable skills. So they said delivery manager, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, when I was at Career Insight, I hated using this Gantt chart and projectmanagement.com and all that stuff and resources. I'm thinking like that's what I had in my head that I was going to go and do. But when I got there, it was like, okay, fine. Can you run the ceremonies for us? Can you do this? Can you do that? So if I said no, I'd have lost the opportunity. So yes, Jolie, I know you remember. So that's why I said so. It's like always don't um what's the word? Always take something on board and test the waters. Yeah. There's there's loads of things out there. Times have changed from when we first started. Now you've got AI, you've got, vast places where you can get knowledge from. All this wasn't there. For us, it was like, read. I've got books that I'm still reading, I'll show you the book. I've still got books beside me that I read, even though, I'm saying that, okay, fine, I know things because it's an everyday thing, continuous improvement. You've got to learn. You've got to have that willingness to want to learn. So that is also key. Anyway, so from Capgemini, my first role was a delivery manager with one of the government sites. Did that for a year. And then I got another Scrum Master role with the student loan company. This is within Capgemini because it's a consultancy firm. Anyway, now remember I said when you first go in, understand the lay of the land. You might think because you're a consultant, you don't have time to do that. They want you to come in, hit the ground running. But listen, they've called you in to make changes because things are not working. You can't just go in head first or feet first. You need to make sure that you understand the lay of the land. That is key. So, a week, 2 weeks, what do you do? Understand who is in the team. Put things in their calendar, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it is. Catch up, break down, speak to them. Okay, what are your pain points? What's working for you? What would you like to change? What isn't working for you? How do you think we can make things work better? What are the stumbling blocks that you have within the team? So you're making yourself not just relevant to the team, you're also making yourself relevant to the individuals in your team because they are the people who are going to have your back. If they say, "Oh, what do you think of Dayo? Is he a good team player? Do you think we still need him in the team?" Because if you don't do that, nobody's going to have your back. So ensure that you have that in your diary. 10 minutes. It doesn't matter if they don't attend. Let them talk. Let you listen and then give advice because that meeting is for them. So that's another thing that I learned earlier in my early days. Like, look, okay, put something in the diary, 10 minutes every week, for everybody. Some people will say to you, oh, I don't have time, I don't have time, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. But the key factor is you have it in your diary, even if they're busy, call them on the whim. Like, if I know you're busy, we haven't had our catch up for the last 2 weeks now. Are you sure everything is okay? Just make sure, like, it might not be work related. Maybe there's something you wanted to talk with me about. Just to make sure that you're making yourself relevant in that position. Having Wearing a hat as a Scrum Master is not just a Scrum Master role. You've got about 5 hats you've got to wear. You've got about 5 hats that you've got to wear, and that is key. Right? So I learned that earlier on, and if you then get a role like I did, another thing is to make sure that you're looking for certifications that are valuable to you. Don't be scared to take an exam. Um, Scrum.org, Alliance, SPC, which is safe. There's Nexus. You can go on Udemy, you can go on Coursera, you can use YouTube. There are loads of things on YouTube that you can actually watch to better yourself as well as to make you pass the exams. I did, and don't be afraid to fail an exam. So the scale exam, I was telling to look wait, this is just me. I'm not gonna give you, oh, it's sweet, it's sweet, it's sweet. I'll tell you how it is. I failed the exam 3 times, just under 5 marks in between the 3 times I did it. And the company paid for it. The fourth time, I had to go and pay for it myself because I'm thinking like, how do I tell them that I failed it by 3 marks or 4 marks? You know. But I know that for me to propel myself to the next level, I need to come out of being a Scrum Master and become an Agile coach. And for me to do that, to achieve that goal, I needed to have my scaled Agile certification, which is what I have now. So I've moved from being a Scrum Master, well, delivery manager stroke Scrum Master to an Agile coach in 4 years or 4.5. Um, and don't shoot yourself in the foot by saying, okay, you know, yeah, I did my PSM one like 5 years ago. So you know what? There's no other certification for me to do out there. There's loads, even if it's AI. There's AI and Scrum Master, there's AI and product owner. Do something new. Have a LinkedIn, have a footprint on your LinkedIn. Post something or like some. If you don't like posting, like somebody's Scrum post every day or something or every other day. Make yourself relevant. Join companies on LinkedIn. It doesn't have to be a consultancy firm. There are places like okay, I don't know, maybe like banks. You can join them online, MasterCard. They're looking for Scrum Masters, looking for delivery managers. Join them, see what they're doing, and try to get insight from how they post and the interviews that they show online as well. It's key. It will help you. Um, so I've given you like two sets of stories from the beginning to where I am now. How do I keep my role? I keep my role by keeping myself relevant, by keeping myself up to date. Um, by making sure that I'm reading. Um, sometimes I read and I'm thinking like, I don't get what I'm reading. It's not making sense to me. So I write it down. I have like 10 notepads beside me. On my wall, I've got things. So like, okay, I need to remember something in the meeting. If I forget, where is it? It's on my wall. Because some things you'll forget. And that's fine. We're human. But when you train your mind, it becomes second knowledge. So that is important. Train your mind. When I first started, I said to you like Jira. How many of you got a Jira account, a personal Jira account or confidence account? If you have, just give me a thumbs up. If you're a Scrum Master and you've got your own personal Jira account, um, thumbs up, anybody? Okay, okay, good stuff, good stuff. There you go. So there's only about 4 people here that have got it, and there's 17 of us on this call. So if you know that you want to be a Scrum Master, go and create your own Jira account. It's free. Play around with it. I'm going to give you a story. I had a friend who I met on Career Insight. He was there before me. Now, this gentleman, um, when I joined Career Insight, I think he was doing the role of a product owner or one of those roles. He then jumped from product owner to business analyst, and from business analyst he joined to something else, joined something. Anyway, he did like 5 different roles, and I'm thinking like, okay, what's going on? You just stay in one lane. He got a role. He got a role with I remember the name of the company now. It's another CDC or CC something. I'll remember. Anyway, he got a role Um, and when he got that role, he was so happy. But it took him, I think, about 4 months to get that role. He left his job, which was fine. And he called me and we're talking. He says, okay, so Dio, okay, I've got this role now, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I've got my laptop now, this and that and that and that. Um, and I said to him, make sure you're practicing on Jira day in, day out. He said to me, oh, no, no, it's okay. We're still doing, I'm still doing my mandatory courses. So, it's blah, 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 it's blah, 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 blah. I said, make sure you're practicing. And then when he joined, they sent him a laptop to work from home. So I asked him, do you have a monitor? He said to me, he's got a monitor, but doesn't have a cable. So I said to him, there's no how as a Scrum Master that you can work on a laptop alone. You need a second screen. He just says to me, oh no, I don't think I need a second screen. So why do you think you need a second screen? Because you go in the morning when you're running your daily stand-up or daily scrum, it used to be called daily scrum, it's now called daily scrum. You need to be able to see your board. So if you're looking on your laptop screen alone, you're gonna get confused. He said to me, no, 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 no. Anyway, so one day, one night I was coaching him, um, and I said to him, look, I can come and give you a cable. I don't mind. The man said to me, no. Unfortunately for him, they had daily scrum, and then his manager's manager was on the call. So they now said, can you move this ticket from in progress to blocked? And my man started fidgeting with the mouse because it wasn't working. Reason being because he had Teams opened and he was now looking for his Jira dashboard on the screen to switch screens. But because he only had one screen, he couldn't do it. So they kept on saying, he kept on saying, oh, it's not working, it's not working. So they now said to him, and this is a true story. Then I said to him, okay, fine, can you please can you share your screen? So when he shared his screen, he had his email open. The man had, and I'm not lying, he had 400 unread emails because people had been sending him emails. So that was the first thing that was on his screen that they saw. And then said, oh, I don't want to mention his name because I'm so, and they said, um, how comes you have 400 emails on unread? I said, yeah, I just think that, the emails that are sort of regards to training that they're not that important. So I was going to get to them. Anyway, to cut a long story short, he lost the job. They fired him that week. So he now called me and said, this is what I didn't. So I said to him, but I told you. He still hasn't got a role till now. He had to go back to his last job. And when he went back to his last job, they reduced his salary because he had left. I don't know what happened, but when they went back, they didn't take him back at the level that it was at. So this is just a lesson I'm saying to you. When you do get a role, if they give you a laptop, please ask for a monitor so that you can open your dashboard on a bigger screen and play around with your dashboard. I know that you started the code, your sprint, you said this week to Logos. I'm sure most people know how to use Jira and stuff, but it's different when you're in a working environment. So try and familiarize yourself with it on a bigger screen. It helps. So that's that. Another thing is Jira as well. Play around with dashboards, play around with JQL. When I say dashboards, everything is matrix these days. They want to see what your team is delivering. What's your time to market? Matrix is key. So play around with JQL. Use Claude. Use ChatGPT. Use Copilot to write JQL queries, play around with them, create dashboards. If you're good at Power BI, say that to your team, like, look, you know what? All our matrices, what we've got right now, we can do it in Power BI. I know blah blah blah. I know how to do it in Power BI. I can do it for the team. I'll do it. Or if you know how to do it in Jira, then do it in Jira. Play around with it. Play around with roadmaps. Make yourself relevant. Don't just sit down and then just run ceremonies. Do more than that. Okay. So I think I've been speaking for about 40 minutes. If you've got any questions before I continue, please let me know. Raise your hands or anything. Sorry, I'm just talking away.
Yeah, thank you, Dayo. I just want to buttress your point about this second monitor. I think uh, I've been saying it to everyone that cares to listen on Rock High Tech that it's a no-no for you to say you are in IT and you don't have a second monitor. Apart from even being a Scrum Master, anybody, data analyst, AI, etc., it's for you to have a second monitor. It's only when you try it that you know the effectiveness, and you never go back to having to go to one monitor unless you are a cave person. It makes life easy for you. Just now, I'm on another screen, sharing information to some people, inviting them, and I'm seeing everything you are doing here. I can plug my third monitor, which I use for work. So I have two, one for my personal one for work. But sometimes I plug the two, making three to. So it's a no-no for you not to have a second screen. Just want to chip in that. So please get one if you don't have one. Go to Facebook, go to eBay. You can get for 50, 70 pounds and start testing it, start using it. Yes, Emmanuel, you got a question or you have your hand up?
Good evening. Just to further ask you, Kulu, what you mean monitor? Can I have like two screen, like a laptop, or just
Yeah.
normal monitor?
No, that's what we mean exactly. So you need your laptop, you have your work laptop, and then you have a second monitor. So you extend your screen to your monitor. But the companies that you work for, you can also ask for a monitor. They will give it to you. You don't have to buy your own. But I'm saying while you're practicing,
They've not
it's good
given
to
me my
have it.
own.
You need to ask.
The,
So they'll
this
definitely give you. Yeah.
the form that they said I should fill, the thing did not open.
We can catch up. We can catch up on that one. Hello,
Okay.
Jolly.
Ivana, hope you got that. It's not. It's not. Sorry, Joel. Before it's not
Joseph,
that you have one screen, then you're
is it
watching.
man
Maybe
also?
you have your phone. You are watching from your phone. Then you have another screen. No, that's not the second monitor we're talking about. The second monitor is the one you are working from. You can extend what you're working from there to that monitor.
Yeah.
You can have two laptops. That's not second monitor. They're different things. You understand?
Okay.
The best way to look at it is if you go online and you put in how do foreign exchange people, how do they work? You will see that they have like two monitors on
Yes.
either side. That's what we mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got you.
So and you connect depending on the laptop that you have, you can connect to it can be connected by USB, it could be a HDMI cable. So
Yeah.
that's what it is.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, cool stuff. Yes, Jolly.
Yeah, so thank you, Dayo. So to add to that point, when I started my role, again, ignorance is really bad because you're like, I use my laptop, I can share my screen with my laptop. And because you're so used to carrying your laptop everywhere, you think it's a big problem to have a second monitor or two monitors. Actually, I used two monitors. And when I started my new role, my monitors had arrived and I thought, I can't be bothered. I can do this thing on my laptop. But the bad thing with just sharing your screen on your laptop is if someone comes late again for a meeting, you won't be able to see the people. You won't be able to see if someone puts up their hand. you're just, it's like you don't have legs to walk. So it just makes life so easy. And companies are always willing. Even if you ask for 3, they will actually send them as long as you want to use them. How much does it cost anyway for companies to send you the monitors? So I remember Tolly used to use a second monitor when we were training, and I was thinking, I'll just use my laptop. I can work with it anywhere. But really, I think sometimes you're ignorant about stuff. So thank you for sharing that. It just makes your life so much easier. And when you're used to having an extra monitor or 2 monitors, using just a laptop is just so hard.
Yes. Going back to one, we'd be like, oh, I'm under a rock. Thank you. I think we have
Olubami, hello.
Hello, Dayo. Good
How are
evening.
you? Good
I'm
evening.
okay. Yeah. I just want to buttress on the point that you raised about having external monitor. Because sometimes when you have it, you can multitask.
Yeah.
And also you can have so many windows open. So you might just be in one meeting, and alongside you'll be able to read all the messages coming through, and you'll be able to respond swiftly without having to wait. So it's really, really important. And when you have your monitor, please don't ensure you have a keyboard, ensure you have a mouse as well. So don't just be using the mouse pad from your laptop. It can slow you down. So it's good to always have like either wireless mouse or wired mouse. So that will help you to navigate easily. And in terms of the dashboard, is very important because that will shows that you know what you're doing, because when it comes to reporting, you'll be swift to give answers to your stakeholders, to your managers, even to your team. You can use it as a yardstick to let them know this is where we are, this is how much ticket we have in block columns, without showing them the Jira board itself. It's just like a summary. You have like that pie chart thing, like a pie chart sprint report. And then you have your burn down chart there. You have like the sprint health gadget in your dashboard. So all those will help you. And it will also kind of show that, oh, you know what you're talking about. That's what I wanted to buttress on that. And Dayo, I just want you to clarify something. When you talked about scale agile, did you go for a personal training, or you do the training on Udemy or all these training sites?
Good question. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you, I'm, I'm sort of like jump and then jump again. So where we work now, we work in the same place. So Bumi and I work in the same place as to local, but we work in different domains. So where I work, the SPC is for those who are management level higher than myself. Now, I went to my manager and said, look, I'm keen on facilitating and coaching. That is what I love to do. And because of that, I need my SPC. And they said to me, okay, fine, go and write something to what I want to say. Write an email justifying why we should pay for it. So that's what I did, and then they paid for it. So I actually went on, we did an in-house Scale Agile course. So we have SPCs in our team that coach within Capgemini. But it's only for the BT side, if that makes sense for me. So yeah, so we have in-house SPC consultants who teach, and that's what I do as well now.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
because
nice.
you won't see it externally because it belongs to Scaled Agile. So if you go to Scaled Agile, but there are people like Knowledge Hut that do it. Knowledge Hut do it. There's some other people that do it outside as well. But try
Yeah,
and
I
see if
know.
you can get try and see if you
Yeah,
can get them to pay for it. where we
They
work.
won't pay for it because in my section, they're being stingy because they'll be thinking we'll be
I
paying
know.
for the renewal.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's
that's it.
one
Yeah,
thing. So that's because I spoke to um, the Agile VP,
VP.
that's what,
No,
yeah, Vice President.
yeah, but what happens is because Capgemini is a gold partner, so we get 20% off
Mm.
for membership. So even though it's
Yeah,
900, yeah. So I've just renewed mine now, which is 600 and something, 650 pounds. So they can pay for
yeah,
it. We can catch up
yeah,
and then maybe I'll show you what
yeah.
I
We,
did
we
and
can
then
catch
see.
up, but I just want others to know as well that
Yeah.
if your company is not doing it, you can either have a pre training for yourself and either with them or wherever, then
Yeah.
before you now go for proper training, because for the way if you go for proper training, it's only about 3 days or how many days, including
Um,
certification. But
no. So for the safe one is 5 days. So there's SPC. It depends on which one you're going for. So, but I guess there's Scaled Agile, there's Scrum Master role, there is Safe Scrum Master. So there's about 5 different roles. There's RTE, Release Trainer Engineer. So it depends on the
mhm.
one you're going for. But yeah,
Okay.
I guess we can do another topic on that. So and then we can drag Bumi in to look at on Scaled Agile.
They are my
Absolutely.
girl, both of them. Please don't mind them.
Absolutely.
Omotade,
Hi, good evening.
hello,
Thank
good
you so
evening.
much for sharing so far.
Thank you.
It's given a lot of us hope, speaking for myself anyway. So for those of us who are still waiting to get into the role, and you've said a lot of things tonight. I will just be writing, how that we need to keep developing ourselves, we need to keep learning. What YouTube channels can you suggest or recommend that one learns from? Quoting you, you said there are many resources, on YouTube. So like who and who can I follow, check on their channel and learn from? Maybe
Okay,
just a few
Sorry,
so
suggestions.
before that you answer the question, you said those of us who are waiting. So you are waiting. Huh. There's no waiting, no. You
Okay,
need
thank you.
don't wait to keep on till you get
okay.
it.
I'm keeping on.
Um
Thank you.
okay, so I'm trying to see if I can do something here. If it's gonna let me do it, it's not gonna okay. Okay, all right. I was gonna try and see if I could share something with you, but let me see if it's gonna let me do this. Let me see if it's going to let me do this.
You
Sorry,
can
just
share
give me 1 second.
on the WhatsApp because maybe you will not be able to share.
No, I'm just gonna do something. I'm not gonna share everything per se, but I just want to share something. Let me see. Let me see if I can do this. If I
You share
go
your
here,
screen.
yeah. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
It's coming up.
Okay,
I
let me
can
put
see
my camera
everyone
on.
on your
Okay,
screen.
okay. I'm just gonna try something. Let me see if this is gonna work. Let me see if this is gonna work. Okay, all right. Can you see my screen now? Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. I'm not a data management person, but I've enrolled to do this. Yeah. This has got nothing to do with my role, but I want to know about data management. I want to know about governance. I want to know that's just something else on the wayside. I'm going to show you my bookmark now. So you can see Scale Agile. I have things here. I'm showing you what I do. Yeah. So you can see here, Agile Scrum Foundation Basic. You can take a screenshot. I don't mind. You can see here, learning this. You can see Agile Digest. So it's all about continuous learning. We don't just say, we do. You know, I want to do the PSM exam, 3 questions. What do I do? Where do I go? This is a Jira board tutorial. It's, AI. I want to know about AI. So SQL, I'm not good with SQL. It's not my strong point, but I want to learn. So I have things here. SQL, Udemy, top 3 SQL courses. So don't be afraid. The key thing is that where you have to be true to yourself know where you think that you need to develop, and then look for answers that would help you. So if you go on YouTube, there are many. What I used to do when I was learning was I don't go for those YouTube that is like 1 hour, 2 hours, because I would lose what's the word I want to say now? I'd lose it along the way. So I look for those that are like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then make sure I understand that. Then I'll start going up 30 minutes. There's a lady on that runs Scrum Master thing on YouTube. She does interview techniques. She does ceremony techniques. So like how do you run a retro? How do you run okay,
There's Agile Tech. There's so many
yeah.
of
Yeah, there's so many on there. So, and there's two things. How to run a retro and how to run a retro effectively are two different things. Does that make sense?
Yes, please. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So when you're searching, search for things like that. And then as a Scrum Master, do you know the ceremonies that, do you have a copy of the Scrum Guide? The Scrum Guide is key. Read it, understand it, so that when you join a company, if they have 20 members in on the Scrum team, you can actually say, hold on, why are there 20 members on this team? Like, this is not really a Scrum team per se. Should we be not 10 or fewer? I don't understand what's going on here. What are we actually running? If they're running the daily stand up and it's going on for 30 minutes, during your retro, you can ask them, like, look, hold on. I've noticed for the past 2 weeks. Remember, I said don't just jump in and start challenging them that they're doing things wrong. I've
Yeah.
noticed that we're running our daily stand up for 45 minutes in the morning. Like, it's now becoming like a meeting. Why is it becoming a meeting? Because everybody's talking about um their tickets, uh
solution.
solutions, like what we should have done during maybe sprint planning or refinement. They're doing it during daily stand up. So, sorry, daily scrum. So it's like, what are you bringing to the table? You can then say to them, look, you know what? Why is our daily scrum so like taking so long? Let's just focus on the blockers. If you don't have a blocker, you don't need to raise up your hand. You're maturing. You're maturing the team. But we mentioned dashboard and matrix. I said matrix is key. When you start your daily stand up or daily scrum in the morning, what is on your screen? Is it your dashboard? Is it your if it's are you running Kanban? Are you running Scrum? So is it your sprint board that is up? What do you have up while you're waiting? You know. So I hope I've answered your question. So it's not just about
So
going
you have.
online. You can see here, there's practice tests here. Um, you know, I'm a Scrum Master. I'm reading data analytics, so CSM. So there's loads and loads and loads of things out there. Use ChatGPT to guide you as well. And then don't be afraid to ask questions. Reach out to people. Me, I like asking questions. And I tell people, like, no question is stupid. Listen, we all learn from somewhere. I'd rather ask and be coached or guided than make a fool of myself. So don't be afraid to speak up. Okay,
So much.
okay, cool. All right. Rosemary, I think you had your hand up, but you've dropped your hand. Sorry.
No, I'm fine, thanks.
You fine? Okay, hi. Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, so I think so based on what I've said so far, um, because of what Amata just said as well, when you get your role, Amata, I think one thing as well is online, watch interview techniques as well. Share your CV with someone to have a go at your CV, help you with your CV to make sure that your CV is saying what it says on the tin. Um, Try and look for you've got this platform as well, so you can learn on here as well. But make sure that your CV is relevant. Make sure you've got the right words in there as well. share with somebody. There are lots of experienced people on this platform that can help you, or help anybody else who wants to progress. And like Tolopa said, you've got to be, what's the word I'm gonna say now? Don't give up. Yeah,
Yes,
don't give
thank
up.
you.
Yeah, don't give up. Even though I'm not looking for work, I think I've applied just out there to see what the market is like this past 3 months now. And I think everything I've got back is so far is thank you for applying. But hey, you don't give up. I'm in a good place, but sometimes you want to test the market and then make sure that your LinkedIn is saying what it is on the tin, you know. So that's the advice I give you. Okay. One thing I didn't mention as well is I know I said understanding the lay of the land when you first get your new role. So I digress. Get your new role, give yourself a 90-day plan. What are you going to do in the first 30 days? What are you going to do in the first 60 days? What are you going to do in the last 30, in the 90 days? So have yourself a plan. Um, if you've got your new role, when you're on board here now, make sure I did make sure you know how to do for me, I might need your help here. What's it called now? Your ceremonies. Like if you have you have your daily scrum in the morning from whatever, if you're doing Wednesday to Wednesday or if you're doing Wednesday to Thursday, I try to tell my team don't do Monday to Friday, 2 weeks iteration because of what Toluwa just said. There's a bank holiday tomorrow and there's a bank holiday on Monday. So I try to advise them or coach them. Jolly, you've got your hand up to start midweek. Yes, Jolly.
Sorry, I don't know if you've finished what you were saying. I
Okay,
just
that's fine.
remembered something that I wanted to share when you were saying that don't just when you get your new role, don't just jump in.
Yes.
What I did for my job, I prepared myself. I went on YouTube and I searched what you should do in your first week of starting a new role. And sometimes we take, things for granted. I've landed a job, I'll just go and they will tell me what to do. But just get yourself prepared. And one of the things that I found out was make sure you meet each team member separately. Introduce yourself, get to know them, ask them anything that they would like to change, what they do not like in the
Yep.
team. And I remember a month into my job, my manager was so pleased that I had actually done that. Something that probably nobody else has ever done. My manager was like, I am so glad you took time to meet each person individually. And it was, 15 minutes. And
Yep.
sometimes it could be less than 15 minutes. And people were happy to meet. And I let them know that I'm not a technical person. So I have been the non-technical person on the team. So any technical questions, don't ask me, ask yourselves. I'm here to support, I'm here to make things easier for you.
Ask yourself.
And that's it, really. So
Yeah.
just prepare yourself, get yourself prepared, find out anything that you need to know when you're starting a new role, because it can be scary. I mean, as a
Yeah.
non-technical person among technical people who have been working in the company for donkey years. So really, what are you there to tell them? But you do have value to add. There's something that you have that they do not have, but get yourself prepared.
Thank you.
What I just would like to add to the person looking for the role is for you to get a mentor. When I say get a mentor, it's very important. Even though you're watching the YouTube, you're reading books, most of them are theoretical. But when you have a mentor, you can just ask that person, tell me how your day was like. How did you handle XYZ? And that person will be able to tell you the practical experience. And when you go for that, your interview, then you can use that scenario. It will help you because when I'm interviewing someone, and if that person is talking theory or you are talking textbook, I know. Or you are using AI to answer my questions, I know. You understand? So that is one thing that I believe can help you better. So that's another thing. And with everything that's been said, and with it all, sorry, I believe in prayer. Just have a positive mindset and be prayerful. Your job is there. You will catch it.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Amen.
So before it can have sound, oh, you mentioned something. It goes beyond the CV, especially now that everybody can write fanciful CV, can design CV. So over the course of a few months, I've just changed my role because I did not put my this thing out there on LinkedIn. But now that I put it, LinkedIn started referring people to me, blah 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 blah. So that sending me, I see some kind of CV that are designed as if sorry to say, as if they're going for theater art and this thing. I said all this CV does not really matter. Somebody now said, I you send them my CV? And the person was like, what kind of CV is this? So simple. There's just plain this. I say, yeah, that's what the CV is supposed to look like, to just say who you are. But now, beyond the CV is when you have interview at my former place. I was opportunity to join the interview panel, and I simply asked somebody a question. I'm so sorry that it was my question that knocked the guy off. After the guy just did the whole I think he was able to bamboozle about daily scrum and this thing. I now asked the person, what time do you have your daily scrum, and tell me how many people attend the daily scrum? And it just went round and round and round. Just to say what time. And my boss that came to that was handling the interview said, what kind of question did I ask him? And I said, I noticed the way you have been asking questions that is answering from book, not from practical experience. So when you are going for interview now, you should be able to talk to your interviewer as a mate. All right, just look at them as a mate. But before you get there, it's what you have on the inside, not the CV, because everybody can package CV now. That's just what I wanted to chip in. Ikena, you had your hand up.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tolu. Okay, just wanted to ask D how long it took him, because I know when he started, he said he was working for a local government, so he never had the experience. And from the time he started thinking about taking up that role, how long it took him to get the role or the job?
Okay.
Hi,
Thank you.
Kenneth. Thank
Thank
you.
you. All right.
Thank you for that question. So, um, as God would have it, COVID happened. And some of us on this call, we were with Career Insight, and Career Insight, Delegira, he is I don't know, I don't know what to call him, but but he sort of like used us to make sure that we knew what we were doing, and for those of us who were willing to put in the time, that helped me. So I think it was like it was as if you were going to work, because we had to do all sorts of things. We had projects, we had presentations that we were doing, and it really helped. And then as soon as I left, I think I just made a conscious decision that I wasn't going to pay subscription anymore, and start looking for work. And like I said, I think I applied for 5 jobs. Those 5 jobs, I got three. Three got back to me, and then I did 2 interviews, and then I got those first 2 roles. So all in all, I would say 6 months. Jolly, you've got your hand up. I would say 6 months. But the key thing is it doesn't matter. Just keep on applying. People say, "Oh, I've
Yes.
applied. I've done like I've sent out 40 CVs or 40 applications and they haven't got back to me." It is the day that you say, "I'm not going to do it again." Maybe that's the day that your star is supposed to be out there. So just keep on applying. Reach out to people. In the meantime that you're applying, there are people on this platform. You can do test interviews with them. Reach out to people. Don't just apply and then stay fallow. I hope that helps.
Yes. That
Yeah,
help.
and to
That,
to add
Yeah.
to what Dayo said, you surround with people who inspire you. So perhaps you joined when we were greeting each other because some of us know ourselves. I think we inspired ourselves, and when someone would get a job, they would come and say they've gotten a job. And then you'd be like, really? So this person has gotten a job, so I can actually also get a job. And it helped. COVID helped, but also it helped that we made it our mission to deliver and to do the work that we have been asked to do. To deliver those projects, KG would come and shout at us. And we wanted to make sure that we get out of that place and not just leave, but leave when we're going somewhere. So surround yourselves with people that are going to inspire you. They are aiming higher. So as they aim higher, you also aim higher. And it can take you higher. It took me, I don't know, I left Career Insight when I had gotten a job. So it took me, I don't remember really, because I had another job that I was working in. But it didn't take me long, probably a year or something, or less. So yeah, it doesn't matter how long, as long as you keep going.
Thank you, Jolly, for mentioning that. So I'm sure some of us know that I run another platform where I secretly train Scrum Masters. And people like Jolly were the one that inspired me to keep to just don't start doing this. And I've been doing it for a while now. And what's funny is that after running about 3 cohorts and blah, it's the people that gets job that used to bring people for the next cohort. Like I'm starting another cohort on the 4th. This started like a joke because somebody got a job for one of our cohort and the friend wanted to do. And so it's just when people get job, you see other people, and I keep telling them, look, just because somebody got a job as this does not mean that it's going to be the same for you. It depends on many factors, God factor, your preparedness, your the situation around things. Those days back then, Scrum was very in vogue. Now it's by the time you get the job, you even know that people are saying, oh, Scrum is no longer. In fact, it's a very big lie. Industries are looking for Scrum Masters. Like Mike, the place I'm working for now, they're still looking for another Scrum Master to join. They're creating another team, but maybe they're looking for somebody from Prune, that's from India, from India. So there are still jobs out there, but many factors. How prepared are you? Opportunity means preparedness and things. So, and it could take, I've seen somebody after training with us, he did just one interview, and he got the job. Just one interview. So, and some, by maybe share luck at this, they've been back and front, back and front, but that doesn't mean that you should now stop. You should now stop. But some again, in that back and front, they've been around. They've not. I keep telling people I can do every other thing, testing, AI, business analysis, but I will never lose sight of Scrum. I will never lose at the core of it all. That's my core. I will not go and do. There was a time I went for programming, web developer. I was the best student on this thing, but now I don't even know anything concerning the web development again because I came back to my core. So you should, just like Dayo said, if you find that Scrum Master is for you, or Scrum Mastery, or this environment, stick to it and let it be your lane, rather than, oh, this one is it's just to get a job. Some people have come to me, I just want to get a job. I said, no, it's not just wanting to get a job. It's not just wanting to get a job, but if you check yourself, just many other focus you can focus on. But if you check yourself to see that this is your lane, this is what you can do without even being paid for. Yeah, I love doing it without even pay. Even before now, I've been teaching Jira all along, everywhere I go. As in, just the flair of teaching somebody. So it's just what you like doing that you don't even need to be paid for it. So it doesn't have to be Scrum Master, but just discover your core, and then every other thing can be built around it.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Where was I? Okay, I'm gonna do something quickly. Let me see if I can share this. Would it let me? What have I done? Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see our screen.
Okay, cool. All right. So I think I was talking about the 30, 60, and 90-day plan. So have your own plan. You don't have to follow this, but in line with what Johnny said as well, make sure you have something that you can take to your job. Even if you don't use it for your job, use it as to answer an interview question. If they ask you, when you join us, what is it that you're going to do? This is sort of like, what change are you going to bring, or what's the first thing you're going to do? This is kind of like an interview question. So have something around this kind of format. Oh, in my first 30 days, or this is what I'm going to do. My first 60 days is what I'm going to do, blah, blah, blah. 90 days is what I'm going to do. Jolly said, okay, we almost have the same kind of format where we try to get to know our team members. We put something in the diary, 15, 10 minutes, 15, 10 minutes, whatever, whichever one it is, to understand them. So what is it you're doing? With regards to matrix, what are you checking as well? If you're running your retro, if I'm sort of sure you all know what a retro is. When you're running your retro, what do you put in place to make sure that your retro is not boring? Do you have actions that you're taking out of your retro? Do you actually rotate who presents the retro so that everybody gets involved? Even with your daily stand-up as well. Yes, the Scrum Master, I understand, but sometimes Scrum Master might go on annual leave. So in that time, product owner might not be available. Developer is there. Who is running your daily stand-up or daily Scrum in the morning? Do you rotate it? What challenges are you bringing to your team? So every day, try to learn something new. Every week, try to bring something new to the team. I'm not technical. I technical jargons when they're speaking to me, I don't understand. I will call my tester at the background. Excuse me, okay, can you run this on my BA? Can you walk through this with me again, step by step, so I have an understanding. If I have a meeting where I know that I need to speak the technical language, I'm inviting them to that meeting. I will start and say blah 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 blah. So don't be afraid to show where you need help because people respect that. I'd rather do that than go into a meeting and be talking XYZ, but I don't know what I'm talking about. And ask me a question and I can't answer.
You'll be
Tola, were you going to
talking
say something?
gibberish.
Yes,
That
exactly.
You'll be
that
talking
Yes.
gibberish.
happened to me
And
today.
they'll be
Talking
using that
gibberish.
to knock you on the head.
You
Yeah, that
understand?
almost happened to me today.
So, so we're in this because nobody knows it all. So be true to thyself. The only thing that you need to hone on is I want to be a Scrum Master. Let me go and learn the things that I need to do to better myself as a Scrum Master and to develop or to um also move my elevate myself from uh Scrum Master to maybe an Agile coach. What do I need to do? Or delivery manager. I remember I said to you, delivery manager and Scrum Master, they do the same kind of work. So if you see a delivery manager role, apply for it. For those of you who are looking for work, sorry, when you're applying for work, I always say to people who speak to me, have an Excel sheet. Know the companies that you've applied for and put it in your Excel sheet because you don't want to be applying to the same company 4 times with 4 different CVs. If you know you've applied to them once, have it, and the date you've applied, have it on your Excel sheet. Because for those of us who know, sometimes something new comes up, you change your CV, you add things on there, but it's still your same name. And you've forgotten that you applied to this company 3 months ago. You're now sending a different CV. They will know. So stay consistent, do the work that is going to do the work now so that you reap the benefits in the future. Watch your YouTubes, watch your Udemy. There are free courses out there. Coursera, there's free courses out there as well. It doesn't have to be PSM. If you want to do the CSM, that's the easiest one to pass. That's with Alliance, Scrum Alliance. It's the easiest Scrum certificate to pass, and that's what most people ask for. You can do that exam and get 100% without opening the book.
But you have to be renewing it.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
That's why
the
it's easy.
problem.
That's why it's easy to pass. So, but
That's
if
the
you want to do
problem.
the PSM, if you want to do the PSM1, you don't have to renew that one. There's a guy on YouTube. When I did my exam, it was his one that I watched and I passed the exam. So when I find it, I'll put it in the chat or I'll send it to Lokwe so you can put it here. I've forgotten his name now. So he's quite good. What I suggest to people on this call here is if you do decide to do the PSM1 and you pass the Scrum Master exam with flying colors, as soon as you pass it, that same day, book for the product owner exam because the questions are the same. Don't wait and say, oh, I haven't read too much for the product owner. The questions are 95% the same. So if you've passed or if you pass the Scrum Master one, you will definitely pass the product owner one. There's only one or two, yes, there's only one or two different questions in there. So that is that. I think where are we? Well, how am I for time?
Dayo, can I keep into what you've just said now about
Yes.
applying for the role? Aside from having the Excel sheet, I always advise that you have Word documents as well, because what you need to do with the Word document is just copy all the job description, name the company, copy and paste, save it. The reason why I said that is when you're applying for another role, you have to tweak your CV. So look at all the job description and just copy and paste and just do a little bit of tweaking. You understand? When you are amending your CV to suit the job description for the role you're applying for. So that will make life easier for you instead of you having to be thinking all the time. You understand? So that's what I just said. The nugget I want to give people.
Yes. Thank you for that. Anybody else got any questions that they would like to ask? Okay. All right. So I think where am I now? So we talked about certification, talked about don't give up, talked about making sure that you keep yourself relevant as well. So the key thing I think which is most important is how do you keep yourself in your job? So that is key. So if you know that you get a role and you want to keep that role, reach out to people, Bumi, Jolly, and Tolope. Those are people that I know. I don't know who else is in the field right now, but reach out to them myself. Reach out to people. If you don't reach out to them on during this meeting, you could reach out maybe in person, whatever, and just share. Don't be afraid to ask questions. When I first started my role, I didn't know how to present. And each time, even though I've been doing it, sometimes I still feel nervous when I'm presenting. So it's okay. It's okay to have nerves. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to feel, do I know what I'm doing? It's fine. We're human. Yeah. So one thing that I always tell my team when we're having meetings is have your camera on. Some people don't like to have their camera on. My camera's been on. I think I turned it off just now when we're doing things. But when you're having your meetings in the morning, like some people don't have their camera on. It's like, but I like to see your reaction. I like to see whether, I don't care whether you've joined the meeting from your bathroom or whatever, which you shouldn't be, but I want to see whether you're engaging. That's all I care. Of all I know is like you might be in this meeting or maybe daily stand up or retro or sprint planning. Your camera is not on. You might have just left your camera, your thing logged in and then walked away. So how do we know that you are present? So when you do that, be prepared to engage with people and say, okay, fine. As a Scrum Master, have your camera on when you're facilitating, and then ask people kindly. So it's also about knowing how to what's the word? How to communicate with people. So in the chat, just say, oh, every morning, I'm morning everyone, blah blah blah. Nice to see you here. Oh, can we have our cameras on? Da 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 da. Or it'd be good to see your faces this beautiful morning. Da da da. End of. And see, maybe one day might be 3 people, next week it might be 4 people, but they will get it. They will get it. It's like, well, why are we having a meeting and I can't see who I'm talking to? You know, if we're in the office, you won't put a plank in front of your face when we're having a meeting. I will see you face to face. So yes, we're working from home, but that doesn't mean that we should abuse that privilege. you know. Yeah, so that is that. I'm trying to think of any other nuggets again that I can give you. Um, Matrix is very important. So please learn how to do dashboards like Bumi said as well. Learn how to, oh, when you're doing your ceremonies as well, um, key thing, have your agenda. And those you've got AI now, you've got Chat GPT now. You've got agenda for your daily scrum, agenda, excuse me, for your sprint planning, agenda for your retro. Okay, backlog refinement. That is not a ceremony, but we do it. Agenda for that. So that when you're sending out the agenda or the meeting, people understand what the meeting is for. You don't just send out a meeting and just say, oh, 9 o'clock, we're having daily stand up or daily scrum. Yeah. So what is that? What is that to Joe Blogs? What is a daily scrum? I don't know what it is. What are we doing there? So make sure it's structured. Check online. There's some books that give you a guide of what to sort of like put in your agenda. Have that. Bullet points. You know. Yeah, I think those are the nuggets that I can give you right now. Maybe I don't know, a next call some of the time I could share my Jira board that I have, or but Loco says he has a session or something, so maybe you could do that there as well. But if anybody wants to know where to create their own account or doesn't know where to do it, let us know. Maybe we can put the link in the chat. And yeah, um I think that's it from me. So thank you for listening. Before I think I had, let me just see what else I have on there. I had a checklist as well. So you can take a screenshot of this as well, if this is going to help. For those who are looking for work as well, I hope this will help you. So I've got this on here. So this is me and my second monitor. So somebody was asking. So this big screen here is my second monitor on my right-hand side. So I hope that we're talking about CV, talking about getting practical experience. Yeah, continue studying. There are loads of books out there. There are books on, there is a website where you can download free PDFs for books. So you don't have to buy. If you want to do that, then do that. If you want to buy and own your own book, um, my table here, I have like 9 books. I even have one for dummies as well. So don't be afraid to get a book, even if you don't like reading, um, just do maybe one chapter every night or something, or every other night. Just do something different. Um, and yeah, I know for those of you who are looking for work, you definitely find a job. And don't just look for work in the UK. Look for work in Europe. Look for work in the USA that are these remote. Don't just look for work in the UK. I have 2 friends that they've got remote jobs, and they're not in the UK. So, don't just focus on the UK as well. I also have a friend that got a job with one bank in Nigeria, but she's working from here. So don't give up. Thank you. Has anybody else got any questions?
Thank you very, very much for the nuggets of the section. So just as it is for Scrum Masters, also every other job role as well, business analyst, data, cyber security, whatever to just keep on. And we are, as you know, on ROCKITECH, we try to, as much as possible, to come to accommodate everyone. It's an agile environment. After all said and done, if you have done your reading, we do run a practical hands-on session called we have started one few weeks back, but it's not been encouraging. That's why it's still on hold. So if you want to be part of it, you can join. So what we do is we build. So just as I'm in my organization, Dayo is in the organization. There's another tool. We have different people. We have business analysts. We have product owners who are mentors on the program. So we are building. I'm sure some of us have been part of it before, and it's the last time we built a chatbot for our LinkedIn. And talking about LinkedIn, please kindly help us search for ROCKITECH on LinkedIn and follow ROCKITECH. So we are on LinkedIn and we have YouTube channel as well. It's just that if I share it here, most of us will not be able to see. I don't know, for some reason, Teams does not allow, if you are not part of the organization like me, you registered your email, you will not see the chat. So I can post that later on in our WhatsApp group, both the LinkedIn and also the YouTube, because this session will go on YouTube at some point. And just of recent now, we started another initiative which we call ROCKITECH Active Lab. And what that is all about is concerning AI. So we are coming together to learn by doing free certifications for now, and then we'll keep on going. We've finished one already. We're going to share our insight on LinkedIn maybe by tomorrow or Friday, and then we take up another one. Well, so we meet on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to share the insight, because we don't just want just the certification, but we want all of those on the cohort to have collaboration. Each and every one of us talk about what we've learned in obtaining the certification, and from there as well. It's an agile environment, so we'll keep on iterating. If you say no, as we said, there could be project that will come out from what we are doing. We will take it on. So, and then this section is there as well. If you want to share any knowledge with us, this is done every Thursday. So please do you can contact me.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you,
everyone.
Dayo. Thank you to
Thank
everyone
you.
else who contributed. It was really nice.
Thank you.